Ruth Loves to Knit podcast. I'm Ruth and I love to knit. It is Wednesday the 29th of November 2023 and I'm coming to you as always from the southwest of England where I live with my husband Nigel, our two kids and our two dogs. You're very, very welcome here this morning. Oh, I have done this intro about 10 times and I don't know what's wrong with me this morning. Maybe I haven't had enough coffee. But anyway, if you're new to this, you've maybe picked up the vibe already, but I hope you'll give me a chance. If you've been here a while, you're so welcome and you know what's coming up. Lots of chat, lots of knitting to show. Lots of gorgeous yarniness and I hope you'll spend a wee bit of time with me. I have got a coffee this morning. I think I probably should have had another couple before I started because I feel all discombobulated, is that the word? Oh, that's lovely. But I just wanted to jump on before the end of November, before the busyness of December starts, just to bring you up to date on all my knits and what we've been up to. Thank you so much for all your lovely comments and emails since the last podcast, and I always say I don't take it for granted those who pop a wee message or leave an email. I really appreciate it. I do have some thank yous to mention if you'll just bear with me, but I think they definitely need to be mentioned. And where have I put it? If you watched my last podcast, you'll know that I got this lovely bag off my friend Hannah from Hannah's Happy Space. There you go, Hannah. Only 1 minute, nearly 2 minutes in, and I've mentioned you already. She sells bags on her Ko-fi account, Hannah's Happy Space, and she's still got some lovely Christmas bags. But a lovely viewer, I had said that I had nabbed this bag and I still had to pay her, and a lovely viewer got in touch with Hannah and offered to pay for my bag. So thank you so much. I can't thank you enough. Hannah didn't tell me who it was, so but if you're watching me, please know that I was absolutely blown away. I went to Knit Group and she said that bag, somebody's paid for it. What a lovely gesture. You may have noticed these aren't as long as they used to be. We had a wee accident. We realised that candles and project bags aren't a good mix, but so I had to cut them down a wee bit, but it's still absolutely functional. I love it so much and it's in full rotation in my project bag, whatever, and I'm using it all the time. So thank you very much to Hannah for making such beautiful bags, and to the person who paid for that wee bag. Thank you so much. I really was touched. Then another lovely viewer got in touch with me actually did she get in touch with me? I can't remember, but I went into Ravelry, which I dip into maybe a couple of times a week, and you see the wee green spot beside the messages, and I looked it up and she had gifted me, I'll put a picture up of up here. It's the Celtic Shawl collection, and it's three shawls. Sorry, I'm looking at my notes. The Scottish Highlands, the Irish shawl, and the Viking woman's shawl. Thank you so much. They are absolutely gorgeous, right up my street, and I will definitely be casting one of them on next year sometime. Thank you so much. I love people do this all the time. They get in touch with me and say, saw this shawl and just thought of you. So thank you very much. But this, to actually buy me the patterns, was just a real treat. So thank you. Then on my last podcast, I was doing a big, if in doubt, rip it out. And one of the patterns I had, I really have brain freeze today. One of the patterns I had really tried to persevere with involved mohair, and it was the Cecil shawl by Twinset and Purl, who you know I love. And I wanted the shawl, but I just couldn't knit with the mohair. And I jokingly, can I just point out, jokingly said, if anybody would like to knit it for me, I'll send them the yarn. Well, I had so many beautiful responses, that even people overseas who offered to do it for me. But my lovely friend Caroline from my knit group, who I've knit for before, has offered to do it for me. And there's no time scale. No, she's a very busy woman. But I dropped the yarn with her at knit group last Thursday, and I she offered and I said yes. So hopefully I will have a beautiful Cecil shawl to show off in sometime next year. So thank you very much to everybody who genuinely offered. I was really touched, but honestly was just joking. And for all those who give me the idea of putting yarn in the freezer as well to get the mohair separated, actually I got it done no problem and didn't need to do the freezer, but definitely will think of that in the future. And then the last thing I want to say about thank yous, mentioning Twinset and Purl, lovely Joanna and Rachel have blown my little tiny mind by announcing that for the whole month of December they're going to be giving their profits from their pattern sales to Lamb Hospital in Bangladesh. And if you've watched any of these my podcasts, you'll know I will try and put a wee picture up of just the main hospital building. It's, I say the hospital, but it's got, you know, community clinics, it's got training things going on, it's got a school, it's not just the hospital. And they got in contact with me to see if I could send them some information about it. And just on Sunday night, they announced that December is going to be the month that they give all their profits to Lamb. And talk about emotion. I worked there as a midwife. I still got a massive part of my heart. I said to them, you know, a little goes a very long way in Bangladesh. You know, I give all my ad revenue to the hospital. And I think by the end of this year, we'll have given, I think £2,500 to, through people giving me Ko-fi donations for it as well, and selling. I sold a lot of stuff on D-Stash and I gave 10% of that, and it just adds up, it really does. And I just can't get over it. I think they're doing a live on Instagram on Fridays, the 1st of December, isn't it? Yeah, to announce it. And at some point, I think from the 1st of December, they're starting to do buy one, get one free on a lot of patterns too. So if you've been watching a while and you remember, I'm going to be doing a Twinset and Purl year. It's a hashtag TNP year 24, where I am finally going to knit all the patterns I bought off them. Not all of them, I couldn't fit that all into a year, but I have knit quite a few of their sock patterns because I did them as samples for the Botanical Yarn monthly sock club. But I had to give those away, obviously. So that's my intention. And I've said before, if you want to join in, it'll not be it's a year-long thing. It'll not be a big fancy, you know, it's not a proper knit along or make along. There will be prizes randomly chosen if you want to use the hashtag. I find make-alongs a wee bit stressful. Don't know why, but and I feel like I owe something to everybody. But I just thought it'd be a nice calm year. Their patterns are absolutely gorgeous. There's something for everybody, and my heart is just full thinking that they would be raising money, and it's their birthday, so they have something coming up in December too for their birthday. So if you're interested in some patterns, in a few days time, watch the live and see what they come up with. And is that everything? Oh, talking about the Mal, of course. Dust 'em Off Mal is still going along, just one more month and then it's all over. The emails particularly are coming in fast and furious. If I started replying to all emails. If I haven't replied to your Mal email, I will soon. I've taken all your names and all the ones off Instagram as well, and you're all in. So the email for the Mal is, of course, ruthlovestoknit@gmail.com if you're not on Instagram. Or on Instagram, it's hashtag #DustEmOffMal, which I will be choosing prizes from. And then for finished objects, it'll be hashtag #DustEmOffMalFO. And yeah, it's been brilliant to see. There's been crochet and knitting mostly. I think there's a cross stitch in there. I did say it was anything with a pattern. And there's still a whole month, still stacks of time to do some more from any pattern that you bought before the 1st of July this year. So thank you so much for entering that as well. I really, really appreciate it. Oh dear, 9 minutes, people won't be happy. Okay, let's get to the other thing that I announced a gift away, we're using that new word, in my last podcast, for the beautiful Coastland shawl from Annijuuti Knits from Anina. And I've picked a winner, and the winner is, oh actually I have it, I'll show it on my phone so it's all transparent. And the winner is Alison Stick Shawl, not a name I know. And if you could get in touch with me on either my email or Instagram or Ravelry, I suppose. If you message me on Ravelry, I'll know your Ravelry name, but give me your Ravelry name and we'll get that sent into your Ravelry library. And I just think it will be if you're wanting something calm, something that you can knit on when you're with other people, chatting away over the Christmas period, it would be an absolutely brilliant shawl to knit on. It is repetitive, 8 row repeat. You know, I've knit 2 of them and loved them, and it would be a brilliant shawl. So that's 11 minutes of chat. I know people will not be happy with that, but that's all needed said. And at least some of it was knitting related, wasn't it? Anyway, let's get into the main of the meat of the podcast. Okay, FOs. I had one of them on, my FO, but I had to take it off. We have no heat on in this house. I am wearing short sleeve linen dress and I am roasted. If you're my age, you know exactly what I'm going through. Anyway, so my first finished object, hallelujah, I have had a love-hate relationship with this. I am finished. I did 2 things for the Dust 'em Off Mal. The first one was the Hirith shawl, the big massive shawl, which I think I've worn once because this. And the next one is this one, and it's from, if I've shown it so many times, you'll be glad to know it's finally finished. It's from the Shetland Wool Week book from 2021, so that was definitely bought well before July. It's the, excuse me, I had a cold over the really bad, well not really bad, it wasn't bad cold over the weekend and it's still a wee bit in my voice, but it did mean quite a bit of knitting done. So Gotland Lace Yoke by Wilma Malcolmson. She's a famous Shetland designer, Shetland wool pattern designer. Oh. And it's a bottom up and I made so much more out of it than it needed to be. I have a sweet spot for the length of a sweater, which is between 13 and 14 inches from the underarm to the hem. This was 40, I hadn't done a bottom up sweater in years. I think the Tegna by Boylant Knitworks was the last one I did years ago. I mean, that's out years. And I thought, oh, I don't know, should I follow the pattern? Should I go with what I think? Oh, I don't know how far, I don't know where I second guess myself. So I knit to the pattern, and in hindsight I could have knit about 5 inches less, which is not good on 2-ply jumper weight on 3.25mm needles. But I love it now that it's finished. I'm just going to put this book on the floor. Sorry if that banged. And this is what I did have on, but I had to take off. And this is my finished object. It doesn't look like the book, that was lovely muted colours, but you know, I like a bright colour. And actually it was lovely with this dress, but I took it off anyway. I'm going to do this for my thumbnail. Okay, so I did bottom up, as I said, and it is quite long. I have to tuck it up, so I probably would have only knit to about there. So there's quite a bit more that I didn't need to knit, but you live and learn. And it hasn't put me off bottom up. I have another one kitted up, which I'll show you another time, but I think I'm going to take a break from it in December. It's psychological, like what difference is it to knit the yoke first and then knit the bit? There's no difference whatsoever. So anyway, this is what I came up with. This is the colour choice I chose. Now I love the brightness of it, and I love the finished garment, front and back. I put a wee stitch marker on to let me know the back of it, but I'm going to put a wee label on it. And it is long sleeves, but I will just be honest with you, I gave up the will to live and I did like a puff sleeve. It's a very different sleeve construction. It is obviously a paid for pattern, but you do a provisional cast on up here. So I do have a chunky meaty arm, you know, it's all that muscle. So this did end up being, and I was really questioning myself, am I doing this right? And I thought actually it's perfect for me, because with a fatter arm, sometimes the armholes I have to add a few stitches to anyway. So it does end up being quite a big armhole, but the finish is beautiful. And these end up being like a little short, little puffy sleeve, and it stops just at my elbow, which is perfect and covers all the bits I don't need anybody to see. I get much more wear at the moment out of short sleeve sweaters than I do out of long sleeve sweaters. I am tempted, only that I can't look at it at the minute, to take that up and graft it, but that's another story for another day. And it's going to blow out, it's so bright. I am pleased with that. I think it's lovely. Love it. So that is the Gotland lace yoke, and that's my final entry into the Dust 'em Off Mal. Obviously I can't win anything, but taking part's just fun, isn't it? So that's that. So you'll be glad to know it's off the needles. My knit group will be glad to know I've stopped moaning about it, and it's not, I mean, it's just ridiculous. You know, I'm a process knitter and there's a bit of veg matter in it and it's not coming out. There we go. I'm a process knitter, and if I don't enjoy knitting something, I'm not inclined to finish it. But this is a really wanted this finished project, and it hasn't put me off doing more bottom up, but I definitely will cut it down to the length that I think is my sweet spot, and that's that. So that's another lovely sweater for outside, not inside. Oh, this is I've got quite a lot left of the overhead lighting's on, because here in Devon this morning it's a dull, really foggy. The fog is right low down over the fields. It's beautiful to look at, but rubbish for podcasting. And that's what I've got left of the yarn. So there's probably enough in there if I added a main colour for a hat. Not to matchy, but there's definitely enough for some other colour work thing. And this is Jamieson and Smith. Can you see it through the... And I've put the colours I've used in the show notes. And the royal blue sort of colour is woolly knit in the Corvette colourway. So I have about, I think it's about 200 grams left off a comb. So that'll be used again too. So there you go. Finished, thankfully. So my second object that is finished, that you'll be glad to have me stop talking about as well. Sorry, I slug another. I put peppermint bark, sugar-free coffee syrup in this, and it's absolutely delicious. I love anything peppery. Peppermint, not peppery, peppermint. So the second FO you've seen many times as well. It was so good to get these things finished. Not that I didn't enjoy knitting this, but and I only knit the middle size. I can't imagine what the big size was like. And I'm going to go back and do the small size. Is the Riptide 135. This pattern was gifted to me by a lovely viewer who actually test knit this. It's by JST Knitwear Design. I think her name's, there we go, JST Knitwear Design. And I did the middle size, which is, the idea is the yarn that she used one ball for the one size, 3 balls for the third size, and 5 balls for the 5th size, but I didn't use, obviously, the recommended yarn. I used, so I could have done a few more repeats on it because it did have a wee bit left. I think it's about 25 grams or something, but I just thought it's big enough. Stop. I did about 4 more repeats than the pattern said actually, but then I just stopped. So I used Rowan Baby Merino Silk DK in the colourway. I don't think it has a colourway. It's 684. It's the lovely sort of denim blue. It's quite good. And it is 66% wool and 34% silk. And I think I said before I got it in a bargain bin in a yarn shop somewhere. And this is my finished Oh, this feels, the drape on this. This is my finished Riptide 135 shawl. I think I've got the camera further away from me today and it's harder to, I'm having to lean away over. It's hard to see with that back. Can you see that? It's gorgeous. And look at the drape. Beautiful. Lovely, lovely, lovely. It actually came out, I didn't really block it very hard. Well, actually, whenever I put it on the block of mats, it just sat there because it's got an I-cord finish, and I just sort of flattened that out. And then last night I put it, I only blocked it yesterday, and with having no heat on in the house, we have the cooker on in the kitchen, and I just put it on an air in front of the cooker overnight, and it was lovely this morning. So sorry, this chair might bang, but oh, there, you can see the design nicely there, can't you? It's actually lovely to wear. It's nicely finished. So thank you very much again for that pattern. Beautiful. She's got some lovely designs as well. JST knitwear designs, and I've been looking at a few of her other ones. Maybe just, that goes quite nicely with that dress, doesn't it? But yes. So two sort of whips that have been knitting for a while are finished and can be put away, and all the stuff can be taken out of project bags. I've had the ceremonial swapping of the bags. you know, changing of the guard in London. I've done changing of the project bags in Devon. I changed them over to my Christmas bags. I don't have a lot of Christmas bags, but you may as well be festive and use them for 1 month of the year. And so I've got them all of them changed over, but actually I have not got much on the go. So that's, and then I've one hoe, although I'm going to call it a finished object. It's my knitting. I can do what I want. It's my podcast. I can do what I want. So although I said that I had lost my sock mojo, it seems to have come back in the last couple of weeks, and I have enjoyed knitting socks again. And although I've knit socks all year, it was kind of like a labour of love because I wanted to get them finished for my friend Cara. But I got this yarn in a de-stash on what do you call the Facebook page that Yarn Snobs on Facebook, and it is the absolute, if I could knit all my socks in this, I would. It's Woollygoodness yarns, and this colourway is, it's self-striping in Merino nylon, and it's called Life's a Beach. And I have knit 5 pairs of yellow socks for the Marie Curie sock quest. I just sent those off yesterday, and even managed to get a yellow mailer bag to send them in, and I just thought, you know what, every time I knit a pair of yellow socks I seem to give them away, so I'm knitting myself a pair of yellow socks. I have finished the first one. This will fall on the floor. They're even in my yellow top bag. I've knit the first one. I say this every time I talk about Woollygoodness yarn. I do not know what she does to her yarn. She says she does nothing to it because I actually messaged her about it, but it's the softest yarn, and it's just merino nylon, you know, and it's not the most expensive. But this is my first one, obviously not blocked, and I was halfway into the heel when I thought, oh, I should have done a shadow wrap heel to keep the stripes going, but actually they're all right. That's a wee bit narrower, but I think when it's on my foot, nobody's going to give a monkeys about that, are they? And the second one, I am calling this a finished object because it'll take me 10 minutes to finish. I am on the decreases. I only have a few more of those to do, and I will be finished. So I'm going to say it's a finished object so you don't have to look at it next time. And they are not exactly the same, but as near as doesn't matter, really. Yeah. And that's my pair. And I did the for myself at the moment, I always usually do about 35, I think it's about 3 and a bit inches on my leg, but I did 6 inches because I'll be wearing boots and I want them to come up, not to poke out of my boots, but just so that they don't go down into my boots. And I always do for myself. I'm a size 8 UK, and actually whenever I have my hand knitted socks, my winter boots are size 9. because these are just that wee bit thicker, aren't they? And big feet. And it's often sometimes hard to get shoes in my size, but yeah, so they're pretty decent size feet, but I still have, I mean, I'd say another 2 grams and I still have this much left, so maybe use it for something else, just to brighten something else up. So it's so bright it's blowing out. And I wanted to just show you a wee thing that I bought. So I carry everything in my project bag. I have DPNs for finishing the toe. I just use them like straight needles, so I have them in a wee DPN holder. I don't know where I got that from. I think that was gifted to me, actually. I keep that, and I keep a wee pouch with scissors and a sewing needle, darning needle, and sorry, here are dogs barking, and stitch markers. And then I had just bought this. Now, it was maybe not the cheapest for what it is, but I got it, I think I got it off Amazon. No, I didn't get it. I got it off eBay, but from a wool shop. And it's just, you can see, it's a sock ruler that fits in my sock bag. So when I'm knitting, now I don't need it for myself, I just try them on. But when I was knitting all the socks for Cara, it was so, see, it's just plastic. And I was able to measure my socks without having to, I don't really like retractable tape measures. Oh dear me. I used to be quite a sensible person with quite a good mind. It's totally gone. And that's just all in my little project bag, and that's what I take everywhere in my handbag. I never leave home without knitting. So that's, I'm going to say that's 3 finished objects. Just because I can. So, whips. Well, I only actually have 2 whips. Can you believe that? Yeah, 2. You know what? I apologise for the last time I did a podcast. I didn't look at, I have been doing this is my 50th podcast. Woohoo. Well, I've done other wee bits and pieces in between, and I've been, in January it'll be 3 years, and I still can't remember to look at the camera. I have even stuck a yellow piece of paper so it reminds me to look at it, and I'm still not looking at it. I am sorry. Okay, so my first whip is in my donkey bag from Jibby Roo Sews. All the information about my project bags will be in the description bar below. I absolutely love that. I got it for Easter last year, I think, because obviously I talked about the donkey in one of my Andy bits and I got this then, but I think it's just as applicable at Christmas. Donkeys, you hear about donkeys at Christmas, don't you? If you have children, you certainly, and they have nativity plays, there's always a donkey involved, and I just love it. Massive, I mean really massive, and it's holding my whip, and my whip is, everything's sitting very precariously here. My whip is, I have to open this up, Petite knit Eva cardigan for my daughter Eva. And just, it's a very simple cardigan, so simple to knit. And she's only a size medium, so knitting up very quickly after a 2-ply jumper weight. So this is what, so I'll just remind you of the yarn I'm using, and I have to say, for acrylic yarn, I am very impressed. It's not squeaky, it's not, it's actually really nice to knit with, and you'll see in a minute, the stitch definition's fantastic on it. So it's just New Fashion, double knitting from Woolcraft, and this shade, that's true, that's a true shade, is 39, sorry, my nose is itchy. Always get an itchy nose, and I think it's just all the fibre. And I got it from the Woolly Beader in Okehampton. She has every colour under the sun, and I noticed the other day I was in and they're doing like some heathered ones as well now. So if you want some good acrylic yarn, I would recommend this. And I think it's sorry, dogs are barking. I think it's $1.99 a ball or thereabouts. So this is what I've done. Try not to have everything falling out. I've changed chain cords a few times, and they're actually still in there. So to say, the stitch definition is lovely on it. and it's a different technique for, it's probably somebody has dared to walk past our house and Honey's letting them know she's here. You start at the shoulder, you do a little bit at the back, then a big bird has just flown against my window. It's madness here. And then you pick up, you see the, I don't want to give too much away, that's the shoulder detail. So this is the cardigan, that's what I've done so far. So I started knitting on the body, and then I stopped so I could knit on the sleeves, so I wouldn't be pushing back and forward. That's the colour there. So I have started one sleeve. She's tried it on, which she couldn't get over. Can I try it on when it's not finished? And I've gone on to the sleeve now. The decreases on the sleeve are every 15 rows, but I think she wants more of a wide sleeve, so I need to just see as I go on. Trying to get Christmas in everywhere. I remember where I got these. Wee gnomes, and of course, thanks to my friend Hannah reminding me, put a progress keeper on. I've got my wee progress keeper. That's my favourite food in all the world, which is toast. And that's from Aria Bark. I've just got her card here actually. Aria Bark yarn. She does it's the beads. Can't get over it. Like the patience involved, and she's got those on her Ko-fi account. And she's got a really good Christmas one. I think it's you have to order them, and it's like Santa's bum. So if you watch Mandy's Mouse's Makes podcast, you'll have seen it on there. But I just thought I'd get the toast just to support her. So it's just going to be down. So that's not going to take long to do. I just stopped the body for a while because back and forth purl and knit was hurting my hand a wee bit on the thicker yarn, so just taking my time, and it'll be finished by Christmas, but should probably give it to her before then anyway. To say it's soft, I highly recommend it. I would definitely be using it again, and that colour is going to be gorgeous on her because she's got red hair. So that'll be finished next time I see you, I am sure. And my only other whip, why have I still spoken for 32 minutes? My only other whip is this one in my gorgeous wee Froom bag from Crafty Clegg's Designs. I'm a fully signed up Clegger. And I bought this last year. She had some of these this year, but they went like hotcakes. And it's just a lovely, it's a bit, wish you could put a one skein project really. And I have a pair of socks in it. I know, who even am I? So, going back to Twinset and Purl again. What is it they do this, isn't it? They are running a cal. What's that from? Let me just put that with that, or it'll never see. There we go. That was the pattern for the last one. They are running a cal, which was for November and December. I have written it down. The T&P Bridgertonsal. Why do you always have things that I can't say? The last one was a cowl cal. Really struggled with that one. So it's a T&P Bridgertonsal. You know what I mean. You know Bridgerton off Netflix. There's a new one coming out, I think, in December, and she's done. Rachel has done loads of Bridgerton socks. This one I'm knitting is from season 2, and it's the Colin socks. I love Colin. Look at that. Love it. She writes such easy to read and easy to follow patterns. This is written and charted, and I'm following the chart. I just find the charts are easier when my brain doesn't work. And another time I will show you what I use to follow my charts. Oh, the surprise. Oh, I live such a boring life. And of course I've got my little poppet for my, I've started using these. We had these all around the house from the kids, and I was about to take them to the charity shop, and I saw on TikTok, or no, I'm not on TikTok, what am I talking about? I saw on Instagram that somebody was using these for their row counters, because I either break row counters, I can't find them. The ones I have the clicky one, you know, the one that the wee face, and all the numbers are come off them. So this have been absolutely brilliant. Now, when I leave the thing in my project bag, I always write down where I was, just because if one of these gets popped, then you're a bit stuffed. So, but anyway, enough about that. So the yarn I am using, more yellow, sorry if you don't like yellow, was given to me in my last yarn swap by a lovely lady who actually dyed it herself. She gave me several skeins. Again, this is so soft. Now, this is Swedish or Norwegian, I can't remember, Norwegian. And I can't read the back of it, but I think it's 80 Merino, 20 nylon. And it is Henrietta something. And she said, I didn't realise until I thanked her for it that she dyed this herself. So this is 50 grams, 210 meters, and she sent me 2 of them. So this one still isn't wound up, but this one is. And I always center pull, and I always use a yarn cozy. I'm going to talk more about those another time too. And this is what I've done so far. I suppose this is the right. Is this the right one? Yes, the right sock. And when it's done, it'll be like that. So I haven't got much to show you yet, but you can get the idea of the way it's going. So I've just been knitting vanilla socks most of the year, but I really want to knit lots of pattern socks next year and follow the Twinset and Purl patterns. This is just the softest. It's so beautiful. I don't know if this is something she sells online, but if you're in Norway, you can look her up. There's her name. And there's the details. So that is my 2 whips. Can you believe 2 whips? There's nothing. I have I suppose it's meant to be a bin from IKEA that I keep over. I'm looking over here because it's at the end of my desk, and normally the lid's tilted up and there's nothing in it. Nothing. So I felt quite proud of myself that I've got them whittled down. Won't mention that I ripped out 4, was it? That's a great way to bring your whips right down, isn't it? But I do have some plans. So coming up, I've put on my notes, move things around a wee bit here. Hang on. So most of you know lovely Amy Palko from the Meaningful Stitch podcast, and she brought out a pattern a wee while ago, but she's brought out another pattern. Is it her second pattern? And I love a poncho. I've said before, I work on the ethos if I can't see it, you can't see it, so it covers everything. And when you're in this time of life, I think a poncho is fantastic because you can waft yourself, you can wear short sleeves under it, but there's still a bit of warmth, easy on, easy off. And that all to say, I'm going to be casting on, and I want this yellow yarn, which I will be looking for, trying to use my stash, trying to use it all up. I don't have anything that would be suitable in DK. She does say she used 3 skeins of the yarn she used from Ginger Twist, and I have a few 3 skein quantities of DK, but I think for the first one she said to be safe to use 4 skeins of DK. So I'm going to try the one of 4 skeins, see how much I use for my size. It's a 1 size, but you can make it longer or whatever, and then go from there. I would say there'll be a few of these because I think they'll look different in every yarn choice. So it's the Coorie poncho, which in Scots is just kind of cozying in and staying indoors in the wild, inclement weather. And I think I love that Coorie poncho. And incidentally, now I'm going to say this and I'm going to forget all the details. The Thoughtful Knitter. Eiley from the Thoughtful Knitter. She hadn't podcasted in a while, but she just did one recently. I'll put the details down below. Is doing a Coorie Mal right through to February, I think, but all her details are on her podcast. And so I think I'm going to enter that with this. She did mention this on her podcast too. So absolutely beautiful. And if you have watched me for a while, you'll know that last she used Ginger Twist Masham DK. Hang on. Yes, Masham Mayhem DK in Crunchy Leaves. Oh, that's gorgeous. Anyway, and she's done a wee, Amy's done a wee like 8-minute video to show it off. But when I was in Edinburgh last year, if you remember, I met up with Amy and lovely Rebecca from the Coastland podcast. We went shopping and had lunch together, and I had picked this up. This is 4 of these. It was my big splurge. It's birdie on the shoulder, and this is Tweed Treat DK, and it's 100% merino wool, 225 meters. And I was going to use this for the Colin cardigan, because I thought met her that day. I met Rebecca that day, and the pattern came out that day, and it's all. But actually, I think this is going to be perfect. It's not just quite as bright as that, but it is royal blue, and I'm in the royal blue phase at the moment. I'm not sure whether I will, sorry, I have the window open just on the latch and maybe it's noisy. You can see it's not, see it's almost heathered. And I think I will do it in this. Anyway, I have 4 skeins of it, and pick something else for the Colin cardigan for going into the summer. I think I might do the Colin cardigan in cotton. I think it'd be more serviceable for me. I apologise, my brain. So yes, so that's the Coorie and Poncho that I'm going to do with this yarn, and that'll be getting cast on when the socks and the cardigan for Eva are, the socks are for me and the cardigan for Eva. So that's one. Pop it on the floor. Then quite a while ago, I'm sorry, I'm going to have to take this off. I'm overheating. Oh, it's horrible. I'm fed up with it. The only good thing is my coat is ripped, and I don't need to buy a new winter coat because I don't need it. My other future cast on is this shawl from Isabelle Kraemer. I've had this in my library forever, and it's called Always in My Heart, and it's DK. You see the details. Two colours, and I think it's some slip stitches and things. And quite a while ago, was it in lockdown even? Quite a while ago, a beautiful watcher supporter of my podcast sent me this most amazing, I mean, out of this world yarn. It's American yarn, but it was posted in the UK, so I'm not sure what the story is. But it's Treasure Goddess yarn, Treasure DK Luxe. I am talking luxe. 70% baby alpaca, 20% silk, and 10% cashmere. There's 225 meters in 100 grams. I'm all about the DK. My absolute go-to is fingering weight, and I'll always love fingering weight. But at the moment, DK is floating my boat, and this is, as I say, it's from. Did have a card. Don't know where I've put it. Treasured Goddess. Maybe you can see it better on the back. Treasured Goddess yarn, and the colorway is Poseidon's Trident. I mean. And that's it's blown out a wee bit, but it's golden yellow. Oh, look at the drape of that. Is that not going to be the best thing around your neck ever? And then ages and ages and ages ago, I bought this yarn off Tatty Cat Design de-stash. She has just got the most amazing yarn to de-stash, and I saw these and thought these would be a perfect match. And this is Banshee Yarns, colours to haunt you, Banshee Yarns, and it is the colourway, Dorcha, I don't know what that means, maybe don't want to know what that means, and it's 70% baby alpaca, 20% silk, and 10% cashmere, and it's the same yard, so it's basically the same makeup, and that's what I'm going to use. This is so gorgeous, it's blown out, yes. And both of them are semi-solids, there's lovely textures in it and things. And this is my favourite part. The drape is good. Can I put that as my thumbnail? No, I won't. The drape's going to be gorgeous, and that is for Always in My Heart. So this is kind of like a charcoaly You can't even see. Yeah, there you go. Sorry if my chair's banging. So those are my 2 intentions to cast on. But if you have watched my podcast for any length of time ever, you know I change my mind like the wind. And I will add more to that, or I don't think I will change my mind on those 2. I'm pretty set in those 2. But I would imagine that shawl will knit up quite quickly because it's DK, and when I find slip stitches, they're addictive. They're like stripes. You want to go on to the next one, want to go on to the next one. So that's my future plans. The only other thing I did want to mention are these 2 patterns that came out Friday. One is the Daft Day Shawl by Rebecca Clow, who I've just mentioned is the Creabea, and the other one is the Daft Days Cardigan from the Creabea. Now, not this, she needs no advertisement off me. She's a very, very accomplished designer, very talented designer. I think the Toasted Tea has been on everybody's needles, but what I wanted to say is that she is giving all of her proceeds from these 2 patterns. They're £5 each, I think, at the moment, and she was saying after in January they'll go up to £7. She's giving all of the proceeds from these 2 patterns to the Fistula Association. Now, probably if you're in a well-developed country, you don't know much about fistulas. Thankfully, you know, when most of us have children, we have antenatal care. We deliver either at home with a midwife or in a hospital, or I mean, you know, I was a midwife for 25 years, and everything's done safely, everything's done keeping an eye on the baby, all the rest of it. But there's many people around the world who don't have safe care for delivery, and many people in the world who have fistulas, and I have seen them firsthand in Bangladesh many times, where women are shunned. They're not even allowed to live in their family home. Their husbands leave them. You can imagine what it's like to live with the smell of urine and, if you're eating, urine or feces, and not being able to clean up, and not being able to live in your own home. It is, and it's treated as a shameful thing through no fault of their own, absolutely none. But the Fistula Association and Lamb Hospital have amazing programmes to help fix those, and I have seen the befores and I have seen the afters. I have a lovely friend who is qualified to fix fistulas and fix many. She still goes out. She worked in Bangladesh for many years, but she's lives here now in England, and she goes out, I think it's 2 or 3 times a year still, to do fistula operations. So what I'm saying is, if you have the money, if you have £10 that you can spare to pick up, you get something for it, to pick up the cardigan. Show you that if you haven't seen it. So it's the Creabea and it's the Daft Days. The Daft Days are what in Scotland they call we call it Crimbo Limbo, between Christmas Day and New Year. And that's the cardigan, and that's the shawl, the Daft Days shawl. And the idea was to use your Advent minis. I'm not sure what way I'm going to do yet because I don't have an Advent, but I would really encourage you, if you want to go and get them, and she is matching, say she's going to add £5,000 of her own money, so there'll be a massive amount going to the Fistula Association. And I am sure mostly you're women who are watching me, and to help other women who are less fortunate than ourselves is just such a fantastic thing to do. So not advertising because it's Rebecca's, but advertising because it's such a good cause, and a little goes a long way in the countries where these women are being looked after. And imagine if you're a woman who's been shunned, who's been cast out, who's just feels awful. Imagine somebody coming along and saying they can fix that. Imagine somebody coming along and showing those women a wee bit of love. I mean, it just is, the difference in before and after is night and day, absolutely. And I've seen both. So I've said enough about those. Okay, I think that's me finished. Be glad to know. At 49 minutes. I think that's everything. I put a wee post on Instagram to see what people prefer, if they prefer. Obviously, I'm not going to do vlogs because I can't video for my life. But, you know, shorter, bitty episodes in December because everybody's busy, or podcasts, normal podcasts. And most people said normal podcasts. But I have some wee things up my sleeve, even my short sleeve, that I'm planning to do in December. So Until then, I will not make any commitments because, you know, it is a busy time, especially as a Christian. Of course, it's a busy time. But I hope I will see you again in December. I hope I will. But you know, I am a Christian, as I've already said, and I always try and share something. I mean, my scripture text up on the wall at last. And I always try and share something at the end of my podcast that the Lord's just put on my heart. I always say it's not deeply theological. It's not something that's going to teach you deep teaching from the Bible or anything, but it's just something that has, you know, the Lord's just put on my heart to share with you. I know this isn't what everybody wants to watch, so and it doesn't offend me in any shape or form, and I hope that if you don't want to stay for that you will just have a really good few weeks with your knitting. I hope you've got a few bits of inspiration from what I've shown you. I hope the lots of chat at the start didn't annoy you. But I'm so glad I was able to just share a wee bit with you today before we head into December. Can you even believe we're in December? Don't know if it's getting old, but this, oh, my stomach just rumbled. I do apologise. This year I've just blinked and it's gone, really. But anyway, last December I was in hospital got out on Christmas Eve. So yeah, hopefully a very different Christmas this year. Although my husband is going to Ireland for Christmas to be with his dad and his sister because his mum passed away last Boxing Day, and my parents are coming to us. So my poor dad's not very well at the minute. I know a lot of you really loved my dad from a couple of podcasts ago, and he's a bit poorly at the minute, so you could pray for him, but hopefully they'll be well enough to come over for Christmas, and there may be a couple more interviews coming with some of my family members, so something to look forward to. Okay, if you're leaving me now and you've put up with this waffle, I'll say God bless and see you next time. If you're staying, I just wanted to share a wee bit of something with you, and you know, our wee family attends a church in Okehampton, just a wee church. We're quite involved in it, but we've only attended since lockdown finished, and it's just a small fellowship, but we've got folk from all over the world. There's African families, Indian families, Northern Irish families, my husband's Irish, so Irish families, and it's a lovely mix of people. We've got our wee Sunday schools like the United Nations. The children are great, and it's really grown in the last few months as well. Excuse me. The church itself was built in 1889 and is you just step off the street into it, and it's right beside a river. Well, it's called the River Okehampton, if anybody wants. It's not very big. But our wee church over the years has taken a bit of a battering from that river as the water rises and falls and often floods, because it's a very wet place we live. It's right on the edge of Dartmoor. There was a real danger at some point that the church was just going to fall into the river. It was getting damaged on the foundations, and it was in a really bad way. So we urgently needed to sort it out, and we prayed, and we gave, and eventually in this summer we were able to put in what's called a cantilever corner. I'd never heard of it before, and now I know more about it than probably ever needed to know. But I'm not going to bore you with that now. But it was added to the church's foundation and the structure. Maybe some of you know more about it than I do. And we had a Thanksgiving service just to thank God for his goodness, for bringing the right people along, the right builders, the right amount of money, and that we could save our wee church building before it got any more damaged. You know, to look at the church, all you can see in my eyes anyway is some new plaster down at the base. That's all it looks like. And folks walking by in the street, as I say, it's right on the street, probably haven't even noticed, apart from there was work going on in the summer, haven't even noticed there's any difference. And as I was sitting in the Thanksgiving service, I was thinking, the church building is now secure and structurally sound. But what about the people inside? Me included. The Bible clearly tells us we shouldn't judge others. Matthew chapter 7 says, "Do not judge others, and you will not be judged. For you will be treated as you treat others. The standard you use in judging is the standard by which you will be judged. And why worry about a speck in your friend's eye when you have a log in your own?" So I'm not saying I looked at everybody and went, I said, what about ourselves? That's what I thought. What about ourselves? Are we spiritually sound? Is our life built on a firm foundation? Or is there a real chance if a storm or troubles came that we would just tumble into the river, so to speak? Matthew chapter 7 again, verse 24 to 27 says, anyone who listens to my teaching and follows it is wise, like a person who builds a house on solid rock. Though the rain comes in torrents and the floodwaters rise and the winds beat against the house, it won't collapse because it is built on bedrock. But anyone who hears my teaching and doesn't obey it is foolish, like a person who builds a house on sand. When the rains and floods come and the winds beat against that house, it will collapse with a mighty crash. If your life is built on a poor foundation, you will surely fail and fall. We are coming up to Christmas when we celebrate the birth of Jesus, who came into this world to eventually die so that we can have our sins forgiven and have that solid as a rock foundation for our lives. So many will miss this and make the celebration about presents, decorations and food. I actually heard a man in front of me in the supermarket last year say, I love Christmas, but I'm fed up of all the religious songs at this time of year. I think he was totally missing the point. My prayer is that this year, Christmas will be totally different for you. You would realise your need of a solid foundation in your life that can only be found when you accept your need of change in your life. Believe in your heart that Jesus died to take the penalty of your sins and ask him to come into every aspect of your life to guide and direct your life from this point forward. Maybe you have tried all sorts of things to try and bring peace and satisfaction, but nothing has worked. Maybe people have let you down, maybe you've lost out, maybe you've tried everything. Well, Romans 5:1 says, therefore, since we have been made right in God's sight by faith, we have peace. That word, peace. And God, because of what Jesus Christ our Lord has done, with God, because of what Jesus Christ our Lord has done for us. I'm sorry, I'm tripping over my words today. Because of our faith, Christ has brought us into this place of undeserved privilege where we now stand, and we confidently and joyfully look forward to sharing God's glory. I promise you this does not mean an easy life is coming your way, but what a difference it would make to be able to turn to God in those times of trouble. Maybe you're listening to me as a Christian who has been saved by grace, but like our cantilever, people walk by and don't notice anything different about you. I encourage you this Christmas season to be brave and tell other people about the Lord. Even if it's just your next door neighbour, let Christ's light shine through you. As I always tell the kids, you might be the only Bible some folk ever read. I spoke last time about the power of prayer. Pray for opportunities where you can share Christ's lovingly, openly and genuinely with those you meet. It's amazing how you will be given the courage, words and just the right person to talk to. We just can't keep this amazing news of the gospel to ourselves. But maybe you're thinking, Ruth, you don't know me. I couldn't do that. Well, 1 John 3 verse 18 says, dear children, let's not merely say that we love each other. Let us show the truth by our actions. Our actions will show that we belong to the truth. Bake a cake, offer to babysit, knit them something, invite them over for Christmas. And through this they may see that you're different and want to know more. So as we go into the Christmas season, I hope that with the hymn that Terry Butler wrote, we can say, my hope is built on nothing less than Jesus' blood and righteousness. I dare not trust the sweetest frame, but wholly lean on Jesus' name. On Christ the solid rock I stand, all other ground is sinking sand. All other ground is sinking sand. When darkness veils his lovely face, I'll rest on his unchanging grace. In every high and stormy day, my anchor holds within the veil. On Christ the solid rock I stand, all other ground is sinking sand. His oath, his covenant, his blood support me in the whelming flood. When all around my soul gives way, he then is all my hope and stay. When he shall come with trumpet sound, oh may I then in him be found, dressed in his righteousness alone, faultless to stand before the throne. On Christ the solid rock I stand, all other ground is sinking sand. I pray that today you're standing on the firm foundation of knowing that Christ is in your life, that you have asked the Lord to take away your sins, that you have asked him to be the boss of your life and that you want to live for him. What a difference Christmas would be for you this year if that's what you did. That you asked him to be your Lord and Saviour. Well, I know it's only November, but we're all thinking towards Christmas. I know we are, and even if you don't celebrate, I'm sure you can't ignore it around you. Really, if you live in a country that has Christianity in it all. And I hope that you'll not get carried away with all the lights. Don't get me wrong, I love the lights and the presents and the food and all the rest of it, but I hope that you'll remember the reason for the season is Jesus. That's me. I'm going to go and get another cup of coffee. I'm going to get this up for you. I'm going to finish that sock, and then I've got parent-teacher meetings. Oh. So I will say goodbye for now, and thank you so much for being with me today, and I'll see you again soon. All right, God bless. Bye.